Hello there, welcome to Siasat TV. It's Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. I am Sumaya Junaid Ahmed in Hyderabad, where we get you all the big news stories of the day from across India and the world. And here is our top headlines.
India reports 3,29,942 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours and 3,876 people have lost their lives to COVID-19. India runs short of vaccines. There is chaos at centers across the country. Vaccination are down by 66% in last 24 hours. People say impossible to get vaccine slot online. At least 11 patients at intensive care have died at Tirupati's Ruya hospital last evening followed a disruption in oxygen supply. From today, Kerala will no longer supply 40 metric tons of oxygen to Tamil Nadu. The Chief Minister says state need all supplies as the cases are rising. And panic in Aligarh Muslim University as 18 professors die of COVID-19 in the last 20 days. COVID panic in a Bihar town as bodies wash up on bank of river Ganga. Local administration believes the bodies are floated down from Uttar Pradesh and are of COVID patients. The World Health Organization classifies the highly contagious COVID variant spreading in India as a variant of concern, indicating that it is becoming a global health threat. Telangana government imposes lockdown for 10 days starting from tomorrow.
Let us begin with our top story. COVID has infected 2.29 crore people in India till now, with 3,29,942 fresh cases in the last 24 hours. Amid growing concerns of patients contracting a deadly fungal infection, the death count has touched to 2,49,992, with 3,876 more people dying of the infection within a span of 24 hours.
Though Maharashtra is the worst affected state with over 51,038 lakh cases, Mumbai on Monday recorded a steep drop in new COVID-19 cases at 1,794, the lowest single-day count in nearly 2 months. After Maharashtra, the hardest hit states are Karnataka, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Delhi. As India fights a second wave, visuals of patients struggling to get medical care and hospitals scrambling for resources have been catching the world's attention.
Moving on to our next story, India on Monday recorded 3.66 lakh COVID cases, over a 9% drop over the previous day numbers. Deaths too came by 8%, but what is significant to see that testing drop that usually happens over the weekend by around 21% in the span of 24 hours. And perhaps the more worrying figure is vaccinations. The number of vaccination has seen a drop of massive 66% in 24 hours. Vaccination were 6,89,652, where it should be over 50 lakh is what many experts say. That means per day we should be vaccinating 50 lakh people, but there are just no doses. There is a scramble for vaccines across the country and chaos was witnessed at various vaccination centers on Monday, with long queues and social distancing norms going for a toss. People are saying it is an impossible hunt for a vaccination slot. For those who are just not tech savvy, this is more challenging. The result is long queues, even the elderly standing in the queues to get their vaccine shot. 11 COVID patients who were in ICU died at a government hospital in Andhra Pradesh, Tirupati on Monday evening after the supply of medical oxygen was disrupted. The deaths have been reported at a time when India is fighting a deadly second COVID wave and shortage of medical oxygen has emerged a key challenge.
Disturbing visuals captured the chaos inside the wards of SVR Ruya hospital as medical staff tried to save life. Even as families of patients alleged that the oxygen supply was distributed for about 25 to 45 minutes, Chittoor District Collector M. Hari Narayan said there was a 5-minute lag in reloading the oxygen cylinder that caused the pressure to drop, which led to the deaths.
And Kerala will not be able to spare oxygen for its neighbouring states due to a sharp increase in number of COVID-19 patients in the state. Chief Minister P. Vijayan said in a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday, P. Vijayan said in his letter to Prime Minister Modi, in the view of rapidly rising cases, it would be difficult for the state to meet demands of other states, so the state should be allowing to produce all 150 metric tons to produce at Kanki Road plant in Palakkad.
Kerala's main oxygen producing unit, run by a private company, Inox Air Products, was also catering to demand for oxygen in two neighboring states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. P. Vijayan said Kerala has been sending 40 metric tons of oxygen to Tamil Nadu daily in line with the directions of the Central Committee on Oxygen Poll. Mr. Vijayan said this would have to stop in view of the surge in COVID cases in Kerala.
Over a dozen professors at Aligarh Muslim University have lost their lives to COVID-19 in the last 20 days, sparking a panic at the university. The spate of deaths have led to the administration scrambling to control the situation. Over 100 patients are admitted at the university's Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College.
The panic has also led to fears on the campus that a more virulent strain of this virus might be wreaking havoc at the university. Shafiq Hedwai, professor of mass communication and head of the public relations office at AMU, told, "We have lost several of our best faculty members. The situation is very alarming here." According to sources in the AMU, several retired professors of the university, all of whom have been admitted in the JNMC along with the active faculty members, have lost their lives to COVID-19 as well, including them. The sources said the toll would be about 40.
Let us now shift our focus to Bihar, where bloated, decomposing bodies washed up on Monday morning on the banks of Ganga at Bihar's Buxar in a frightening new visual that exposed the scale of India's COVID crisis. Dozens of bodies were seen floating in the river of Chausa town on Bihar's border with Uttar Pradesh and later piling up on the banks, to a horror of residents.
People woke up early Monday morning to the grotesque sight and raised an alarm. The local administration believes the bodies floated down from Uttar Pradesh and belong to COVID patients whose relatives may have been unable to find space to cremate or bury them. There is panic in the town and others nearby about infection from the bodies and from the river water. Dogs were seen waiting near the bodies, an image that played into fears of an explosion in COVID cases.
A World Health Organization official said on Monday it is reclassifying the highly contagious triple mutant COVID variant spreaded in India as variant of concern, indicating that it became a global health threat. A COVID-19 variant spreading in India, the B1617, appears to be more contagious and has been classified as being of concern.
Virus variant that was first identified in India. Indeed, this is one that has been classified as a variant of interest by WHO. Over the weekend and last week and into today, our EPI team and our lab team has been discussing with our virus evolution working group this variant, this B1617, and everything that we know about it in terms of transmissibility and any studies that are being done in India as well as in other countries where this virus variant is circulating. It is important to note that this lineage, this B1617, has 3 sublineages, the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. I won't go into that level of detail. All of that will be provided in our SITREP tomorrow, where we will outline all of the information that we know about each of those sublineages. Having said that, in consultation with our virus evolution working group and our EPI teams and our lab teams internally, there is some available information to suggest increased transmissibility of B1617. There is a preprint that is out, so this is a paper that has not undergone peer review, and it's on a limited number of patients, suggesting that there is some reduced neutralization, and as such, we are classifying this as a variant of concern at the global level. There will be much more detail provided in our SITREP tomorrow around all of the available information that we have. What we do want to say is that even though there is increased transmissibility demonstrated by some preliminary studies, we need much more information about this virus variant in this lineage, in all of the sublineages. So we need more sequencing, targeted sequencing, to be done and to be shared in India and elsewhere so that we know how much of this virus is circulating. We don't have data yet on diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines. But we don't have anything to suggest that our diagnostics, our therapeutics, and our vaccines don't work. This is important. We will continue to see variants emerge. We will continue to see variants of concern around the world, and we must do everything that we can to really limit.
Let us now shift our focus to Telangana. In the wake of surge in COVID-19 cases, Telangana government imposed a 10-day lockdown starting from 10 a.m. from tomorrow, that is Wednesday, 12th of May. This decision was taken during a cabinet meeting today at Pragati Bhavan. All activities will be allowed from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., following which a full lockdown will be imposed. The cabinet meeting was chaired by Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. And now let's look at the numbers of COVID cases in Telangana, where COVID cases continues to surge in state. Telangana's cumulative COVID-19 caseload crossed the 5 lakh mark on Monday after the state recorded 4,826 new cases. The state also recorded another 32 deaths, while 7,754 patients were declared cured.
The state's cumulative caseload now stands at 5,02,187 cases, while the death toll rose to 2,771. There are 62,797 active cases of COVID-19 in the state, a reduction from the over 80,000 active cases last week. The positivity rate has also improved, dipping to 7.3% from 10% a week. So far, over 4.36 lakh patients have recovered from COVID-19. Case fatality rate has risen to 0.55%, while the recovery rate is just a shade under 87%. Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation recorded the highest number of cases, that is 733.
Moving on to our international news, the Israeli military renewed its bombardment of beleaguered Gaza Strip early this morning, targeting several areas after rockets were fired from the enclave. The new attacks come hours after at least 24 Palestinians, including 9 children, were killed in an overnight Israeli airstrike on the Strip after Hamas launched rockets from the coastal territory towards Israel.
The rocket fire came after Gaza's rulers Hamas issued an ultimatum demanding Israel stand down its security forces from the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem after days of violence against Palestinians. Israeli police stormed the compound on Monday for a third consecutive day, firing rubber-coated steel rounds, stun grenades, and tear gas at Palestinian worshippers inside the mosque in the final days of the holy month of Ramadan. More than 700 Palestinians were hurt in Jerusalem and across the occupied West Bank over the past 24 hours.
The United States has expressed serious concern about violence in Jerusalem as Israeli police again cracked down on protesters rallying against the forced expulsion of Palestinian families from the occupied East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah.
The condemnation from Washington came as the Palestinian Red Crescent said at least 17 people, including one Palestinian paramedic, were wounded during peaceful demonstrations across East Jerusalem on Sunday evening. Tensions have escalated in Jerusalem, the occupied West Bank and Gaza throughout the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, amid growing anger about potential forced expulsions of Palestinian families in Sheikh Jarrah on land claimed by illegal Jewish settlers.
Alright, Nepal's Prime Minister and Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist leader Khadga Prasad Sharma Oli on Monday lost the vote of confidence in Parliament, failing to show that he has enough support of lawmakers to stay in office.
According to reports, 93 lawmakers voted in favor of PM Oli, while 124 of them voted against the same, and 15 were neutral, thereby leading to KP Oli's loss. PM Oli faced a confidence vote after alliance partner NCP withdrew support last month. Special arrangements were made by the Parliament Secretariat for COVID-19 positive MPs to participate in the vote.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let us have a look on our headlines.
India reports 3,29,942 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours and 3,876 people have lost their lives to COVID-19. India runs short of vaccines. There is chaos at centers across the country. Vaccination are down by 66% in last 24 hours. People say impossible to get vaccine slot online. At least 11 patients at intensive care have died at Tirupati's Ruya hospital last evening followed a disruption in oxygen supply. From today, Kerala will no longer supply 40 metric tons of oxygen to Tamil Nadu. The Chief Minister says state need all supplies as the cases are rising. And panic in Aligarh Muslim University as 18 professors die of COVID-19 in the last 20 days. COVID panic in a Bihar town as bodies wash up on bank of river Ganga. Local administration believes the bodies are floated down from Uttar Pradesh and are of COVID patients. The World Health Organization classifies the highly contagious COVID variant spreading in India as a variant of concern, indicating that it is becoming a global health threat. Telangana government imposes lockdown for 10 days starting from tomorrow.
Well, that is the Siasat TV English news for this Tuesday. Thanks for watching. I am Sumayya Junaid Ahmed. Have a great day.